Hey guys, thank you so much for coming to my channel. Today I'll be making two kinds of make-ahead breakfast recipes. First one is nuts and fruits loaf using spelt flour. This is inspired by the loaf I had in Paris. It's filled with fruits, nuts, and spices. Perfect fulfilling on-the-go breakfast. And the second one is sweet potato steamed buns. These are made with rice flour, so these are gluten-free and also free from most of the allergens. I think kids love those. And of course, these two recipes are plant-based. So let's dive into the recipes. Let's start with making nuts and fruit loaf. I'm gonna start by soaking chia seeds. Into a bowl, I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of soy milk and 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. I'm gonna quickly combine the mixture with the whisk to prevent chia seeds from sticking together. Now let's set this aside and prepare all the dry ingredients. I don't have a sifter, so I'm using colander instead. So here I'm going to add 1 cup of spelt flour, which is about 140 grams, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda for extra leavening and color, dash of cinnamon, dash of allspice, because I love holiday flavor even in the summer, and a pinch of salt. Now I'm gonna sift everything to prevent lumps. And one last secret dry ingredient, which is lemon zest. This is optional, but lemon zest gives depth and citrusy flavor to the loaf. So I'm gonna grate just a surface of the lemon, about half a lemon worth, and mix it in. So for my loaf, I love to add tons of nuts and fruits. So for the nuts, let's use 1/3 cup of nuts of your choice. Here I'm using pecans, almonds, and pistachios. I have a 1/3 cup of these nuts mixture, and for the dried fruits, I'm adding half cup of them, consisting of dried figs, apricots, raisins, and goji berries. You can use any dried fruits you have in your pantry. For goji berries, some products are so dry and almost crunchy, so I like to soak them beforehand about 5 minutes or so to make them soft and juicy. Now, chia seeds should be thick and jelly. Let's give it a quick stir, and I'm gonna combine all the wet ingredients. Half a cup of plant-based yogurt. Here I'm using vanilla flavor. 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to mix well to combine. Before I assemble dry and wet ingredient, I'm going to prep the baking tray. I'm using half loaf pan and lined with parchment paper. So now, into a mixed dry ingredient, I'm going to pour the wet ingredients mixture. And I'm gonna quickly mix with the spatula, and about at the halfway of mixing, I'm gonna dry fruits and nuts. And don't forget to add soaked goji berries. Then I'm gonna keep on mixing until no dry flour left. Now let's transfer the butter into the baking tray. I'm gonna flatten the surface and give it a few taps to let the excess air out. Then I'm gonna sprinkle 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds onto the surface of my loaf. And let's bake this at 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. The loaf should be expanded and look like this. Let's give this a toothpick test. I'm gonna insert a toothpick or skewer, and if it comes out clean, it's done. I'm gonna let this cool for an hour or until cool enough to touch, and I'm gonna slice to enjoy. You can batch make this and enjoy for a few days. And also this loaf freezes well, so you can freeze the slice. And in the morning, all you have to do is warm it up and enjoy your healthy and yummy breakfast. I love to enjoy this slice of loaf with coffee in the morning. I had the best nuts and fruits bread at the farmer's market in Paris. So I recreated the memory with much easier quick bread version. So now I can enjoy it at home. Next, let's make sweet potato steam bun. These plant-based steam buns are free from most of the allergens and also fluffy and sweet. So I think these are gonna be great breakfast, a snack for kids. So let's start with cooking sweet potatoes. Today I'm using Japanese sweet potato. I'm going to cut half cup of sweet potato into cubes. To cook this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of water into a small saucepan. Then I'm gonna add sweet potato cubes and a pinch of salt. Salt enhances the sweetness of sweet potatoes. Now let's cover with the lid and cook over the low heat until sweet potatoes become fork tender. Meanwhile, I'm gonna prepare the steamer. I'm gonna go ahead and start boiling pot full of water. And for the lid, I'm gonna cover it with the cloth. This prevents the water running onto our steamed buns. Now let's make the batter. It's very simple. Into a bowl, I'm going to add half a cup of brown rice flour, 4.5 tablespoons of soy milk. You can use any other plant milk if you don't like soy. 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil, and a pinch of salt. And I'm gonna mix well to combine. At this point, there's no baking powder added yet, so that I don't have to rush and have a time to fully mix. Once it's mixed through, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Now baking powder will start to react, so I wanna work quick. Once it's fully mixed, I'm gonna add 2/3 of sweet potato, reserving some for topping, and mix well. Now let's transfer to the lined muffin tins. The recipe should make 3 steamed buns. I'm giving a few taps to flatten out the surface and sprinkle reserved sweet potatoes on the top. Now let's transfer these to the steamer, and I'm gonna place it onto the hot boiling water. I'm gonna cover with the lid. Then I'm gonna cook over the high heat for 5 minutes. Then reduce the heat to medium and cook another 5 minutes. Cooking high heat and lots of steam at the beginning helps steamed buns leaven a lot. After the 10 minutes of cooking, these are ready to be enjoyed. I'm using brown rice flour because I like the taste of it, but using white rice flour results in more fluffy and moist steamed bun. In the morning, I like to reheat these and enjoy with the plant milk. So these are 2 plant-based make-ahead breakfast recipes. I hope you find these recipes helpful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!